Okay, welcome to Conscious Living Parents, where we talk parenting, partnering, personing, and everything else in between. It's been a week, hasn't it?
It has been a week. Welcome back, guys. But yeah, it's been a bit of a strange week. How do you feel doing a podcast with me this week? Being such a bad parent and all.
I feel pretty awkward. I didn't realize you were such a horrible mother.
Yeah, is what it is. No, if you've missed on social media or in the media this week, it's gone quite viral. I have been slammed online for leaving my kids with their dad. Could you believe it? Leave them with
How
Steve.
dare you?
Oh my gosh, how dare I? I know.
Poor
terrible
Steve
mother.
too. That's what I've been like. Sure enough, the kids, but poor Steve having to do that.
Having to look after his two kids. I know. I tell you what.
Yeah, that's.
You can't tell from our voices. We're very
it is
sarcastic.
sarcasm.
Yeah, sarcasm. But that's what's happened. I went away for a girlfriend's 30th with my girlfriend down to Melbourne. It was an awesome weekend, but when I was leaving at the airport, I got a message and it said basically how wrong it was for me to leave my two kids with Steve. And I should be really ashamed of myself. And it's gone quite viral and it's caused quite a stir. So we thought we'd talk about it today because it's a great conversation to have. And this did not, first of all, trigger or upset me one bit. It didn't upset me, but I thought this is a really cool conversation I can have and hopefully empower other women that it's okay to wear many hats. I'm a big advocate for that. I think it's so more than okay to be a mum. Being a mum is the best thing ever. Being a dad, best thing ever. It's our number one priority for sure. But we can love our baby and love going to work. We can love our baby and love hanging out with friends. We can love our baby and love doing a bloody podcast. Whatever it is that you like 100%. Doing, we're allowed to enjoy and do other things other than just be a parent.
Yeah. But there's a thing called mum guilt, hey? And sometimes when people feel guilty, they project what they're feeling onto other people.
Let's chat about mum guilt for a while. Yeah. I don't know if dad guilt, is that a thing?
Dad guilt, yeah. Oh, I think so. It's just maybe we don't talk about our feelings as much where we're feeling like, but dad guilt 1,000,000,000%. I feel it. And even on the weekend, it's less so because on the weekend, because of some work stuff, I'm like, I got to work a little bit more this weekend. And I didn't want Clara to have to take Neve. So I'm like, her favorite places are
because she's heavily pregnant, by the way.
Yeah. Constantly, because she's just about to have a baby. And I'm like, okay, for me to feel okay about really getting this stuff done and working this weekend, I'll feel too guilty if you are having to take all of Neve. So her favorite place is with a yaya, her grandma. So she went there for a couple of days and she kept wanting to go more, which was a bit upsetting. But anyway.
A couple of hours, couple of days.
Couple of days, 2 days. But every day I was noticing Clara's voice to be like, just little comments like, oh, I really miss I miss she was here. But half of it was, yes, I miss her, but half of it was that little mum voice guilt that she shouldn't be away. And I could feel it. And so I was able to just, be empathetic and be like, she's having a great time. It's all, but I could see that was jumping up, whereas my voice wasn't there yet, but I get the guilt the other way. Like, I don't want you to be, almost the opposite, right? Like, and from a dad point of view, we want our wives to be going away and filling their cup and doing these things because
it's important.
They come back nicer and happier.
Come back more fulfilled, more cup full, more energetic, a breather. But I want to talk about mum guilt because something that Katie Dean said to me years ago, which completely changed it for me. I don't feel like I get a lot of mum guilt anymore. I don't want to say I never get it, but it's pretty rare.
When it pops up, you're aware of it and you're able to process it.
And I don't know if guilt's the right word anymore, but I totally understand because I have a lot of mums around me and they all feel mum guilt and I have felt it before. But Katie said to me, guilt and shame comes from what you think you're doing is wrong. So when you feel guilty about going away with the girls, going to the gym, having time out, getting a massage, when you feel guilty, ask yourself, is this wrong? Or what's the benefits of you doing this? Yep. So whenever that would pop up, it doesn't much anymore. This is a practice I had to do. I would ask myself those questions. Is this wrong? No. What's the benefits of this? Okay, I get a breather. I get to rest my nervous system. I get to connect with my friends. I come back happier. I come back more patient, more fun. If I'm more patient, I've rested my nervous system. I don't yell. That's the thing I'm working on with Taj and I have been working on for years. There's so many benefits to this. I'm not going to feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
And all these mums that message me and say, I feel so guilty taking time out to go to the gym. I'm like, what are the benefits of you going to the gym? What do your kids get out of happy, fit, healthy mum.
Yeah.
You don't have to be with your kids 24 hours a day to be a good mum.
No way.
You do not. I need
In
to
fact,
repeat
it's
that.
hard. I think it's harder.
100%. 100%. So
And
that's
even before going away from a trip, right? Even above that, just trying to get a mum to go, I deserve to have an hour to exercise. That's like a battle for a lot of our clients most of the time, right?
100%. 100%. But an hour out of your day just does wonders for your own mental health, body strength, emotional well-being, as well as all of your families. There are so much positives to that. So I was on the radio this morning, and Ash, my PA, messaged me after and said, like, wow, you did that so well. I can just tell you're so passionate about it. I said, I am. I want to speak even louder because I want more mums and more dads to feel okay with wearing multiple hats and having a break if they need to. Like, a lot of my mums were saying, oh, so good, you deserve a break. So it wasn't even a break. It was literally to go celebrate my friend's 30th, regardless what it was for. If I wanted to go, it's so okay to leave them with their father.
Yes, it makes it easier to say, oh, well, like, to give yourself that it's for an important event and I want to show up as a friend. But yeah, you don't need a justification, right?
No, I do not. Yeah. And I almost thought it's a little bit insulting to the dads as well for this to be such a big thing. It's like, do people think dads aren't capable?
Yeah.
Do they really think that dads are not capable of looking after their children? They might not do it how we do it. They might not be as goo gaga. Like, I know Steve doesn't, you do that high mum voice that I do all the time, but can he look after his kids and love on his kids? 100%.
Yes. And even more so, I think, is that he wants to and we want to, and being given that opportunity to step up and show that we can do it, and that the house was fine and everything was great, and giving us that 100% connection is so important too.
Yeah. Right? And it was cool when he came back. I said, like, did you enjoy the weekend? He goes, yeah, I did. I said, what was the hardest thing? He said the sleep, because she woke up a lot more for him than what she does for me. And he goes, the lack of sleep. And I said, what was the best thing? He's like, the feeding. Like, it was so bonding, being able to do that, because when I'm there, I do it all. And even naturally, I feel like I do probably do more than him with her, particularly Tala. And I'm breastfeeding for sure. But it was like, it's so nice to be able to have that connection and bonding time, just me and her. So he really enjoyed it. And I got to go away and came back and really missing it. And even for our relationship, like, I came back so excited to see Steve and, like, wanting to be more intimate with him. And I felt like it refreshed us as well, which is so cool. And Taj feels that energy. Like, there's so many benefits to it.
Yeah. So you get the break, but you also get the extra respect, or the, like, like one, even though I don't need your approval to go, but thank you for doing such a great job, and we're such an epic team.
Yeah, exactly. And we had all those reflections
in so many different ways.
And I came home just like, so proud of him, but just felt so full. Yeah. So full. It was really cool.
It was awesome.
Why does when men or like fathers go away, no one blinks an eye? Why is it when the mums step away from the kids, they're so shunned upon?
I've got an opinion on this, and it's the same reason, or linked to the same of my opinion on why sometimes mums are extra controlling and take that off their children, because it serves them so much to feel that, like, sometimes you hear people talk about their partners, and we talk to women all the time, so it's like, he's so useless, he never can do this. When, like, it's important to understand, when you're cynical on someone or you put someone down, it raises serotonin in your brain. It makes you feel good. So I feel like it can be used as a way to go, only I can do this, and so you're useless, and it makes you feel better. Like, not consciously, you're not doing it on purpose, but it's a tool to go
from wife to husband. Like,
yeah, so it's like when they go away, like the guy goes away, and no one bats an eye. It's sort of one, it's conditional, like it's like the husband always goes away, but it feels good to have that little bit of resentment, or that, like, because I've taken this on. It can be a sort of thing that, because that's where you get so many people react, in my opinion, to why a mum can go away. It's because I don't let myself do that, because
it's triggering for them.
It's triggering, yeah. That's how I see a part of it anyway.
And what are your thoughts? I think I said this on the radio this morning too. I think that a lot of people, like, we all have our own set of rules, like a rule book as such. Yeah. So when you're living your life by these rules and you see someone else doing the complete opposite, it, like, almost shakes your nervous system a bit, and it's triggering. And that's why you're like, oh, they then project that onto other people. Yeah. But we have to remember, everyone's got their own set of rule books, and that's aligned with their own values and what feels good for them, what suits their family and lifestyle and goals, etc. So I think it just shook a lot of people that don't live how I live.
Yeah, but and like we always say this every time we talk, but it's never about us. Whatever triggers us, or never
Yeah.
about the other person. It's such a they're going. I see something that she's done that I can't see in myself, or that I'm jealous of, or whatever, and it's something's going
Or
up. And
she
I
gets
need
a
to,
break and I'm so desperate for a break and I don't
yeah.
have an option to have a break, so I'm just going to hate on her.
Which is why I guess you were so empathetic in everyone's response
100%.
too.
Yeah, definitely. And I've had many conversations with women over the years that have, I say, quote unquote, trolled on me for going on holidays with Steve or whatever. And I've actually had some beautiful conversations. And some women have said, like, I'm so sorry. I'm just so jealous you get to go on holiday.
Yeah.
I want a break from my kids. I want to feel okay with leaving them, and I can't. I don't have anyone around or whatever.
Yeah. So
Every
when you're
situation is so
jealous
different.
of someone doing that, right? You can either feel the jealousy, which jealousy is pain,
Yeah.
or what you can do, your brain comes up with this sneaky little strategy to go, they're a bad mum,
Yeah.
and I feel good.
I'm a
So
good mum.
it helps us get over and go, pain here. How do I make myself better?
Yeah.
Criticize.
Yeah.
I'm a better person. And they
I'm
don't
doing
know
a
what
better
they're doing.
job.
This is
Unconscious.
it's unconscious,
Yeah.
but this is how we get stuck in putting people down all the time instead of like living our own life, right?
I know, and it's. I just, I always say it, like, I don't think there's a right or a wrong, and I don't think parenting and relationships even is black and white. It's so different for everyone, and we're all doing the best we can in what
And there's
we
balance,
have.
right? If you were doing every weekend away, like
Oh,
it's like
of course. Yeah, of course. But I just wish, and I hope me speaking about this, I just wish there'd be more of a movement of just accepting everyone for what feels good for them. Like, it does not trigger me or bother me one bit with what everyone else does with their life. Like, I
Yeah.
couldn't care less, but I wish there was more acceptance. Even if that triggered someone, I wish they could just be a bit more open-minded. And I hope me being the leader in this and talking about this more and opening this conversation up, we can have more healthy conversations around it.
Yeah, and it was nice to see, like normally there's a lot of negativity on standard media, but it was nice to see that there is a lot of people that understand that this is positive behavior and okay as well.
Yeah.
Like it was like, okay, there are a lot of conscious people out there that realize that mums aren't robots and that that they don't just, I guess that's the 1960s, 70s mums where they really didn't have any autonomy. Hey, like, it was just basically I am this, and it's spread from there. Like, I think we're starting to break it down.
I think so, and it's important, to always think about what you value in your life. And for me, friendship, love and connection is my highest value, and that comes with relationships, that come with my partner, with my kids, and also my friends. I value my friends so much. I couldn't do life without them. If I don't put time and energy and love into it, it's like a garden. If you don't water it and give it love and time, like an effort, it's going to turn into nothing. I feel like your friendships and relationships need time and energy. And this girlfriend I don't get to see very often, so I want to still make sure that relationship's connected. And it was important for me to go and spend
life's
that time.
busy, hey, and you don't have enough
busy.
time to see them, they're good friends, as much as you want.
Yeah.
But when there's an event or something where you go, you have to prioritize
Definitely. I don't ever want to look back on life and wish I went and celebrated more. I wish I, spent more time.
Yep.
I think there's a good, it's a way to have a good balance with it all.
Yep.
And that's why I feel confident talking about it, because I feel like I nail it. Not toot my own horn, but I really do feel like I nail it.
Balancing,
Yeah, 100%. I do.
And I mean, I was over at your place on Sunday for Taj's birthday, and speaking to Steve, he had, it was like once the party was over, it was like high five, well done. I was like, we were joking. I was like, you can clock off now.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but like he could see the pride and
that.
Like so that can only be positive to a relationship
100%.
and to a child, and and
It's
confidence moving forward that, hey, I got this.
Yeah, 100%. It's beautiful. I see so much positive in it. But it's a good conversation to have. So that's kind of been our week.
It is. And I guess what we wanted to follow up with now is unpacking the podcast with Dr. George Blair-West, which was pretty epic. I got some, again, Shafali got life-changing takeaways. And this one here as well for me was, I got some really big, like, complete mind bend changes that I was like, this is
mind bend changes. I love that.
Is that a word? Or...
I don't know, but I love it. Yeah. I'm here for it. Let's go over our takeaways.
Let's start with yours.
Okay.
Let's start with yours. We always start with me.
Yeah, okay, true. I got lots of takeaways. I feel like I'm going to say that every recap, but let's just pick one. The one that stood out for me, and I think because it has come up in conversation with Steve and I before, is scheduling sex. And I have been very, very resistant for this. And every time Steve's brought it up, I just don't want a bar of it, because I'm like, that's not sexy. Like, doesn't turn me on. Like, no, not for me. That might work for some couples, but not for me. But the way he broke it down by saying, like, what are the chances of you, with kids especially, and working and being tired, both being in the mood, both having the time, both feeling it, both being turned on, like, even for women, like, it takes a lot of foreplay for us to really get in the mood. And foreplay for me starts at the start of the day. It's the little touches, it's little comments, it's the being present. It's not just like, hey, let's do it. When he broke it down like that, I was like, wow, that's so true. And I was saying to Levi off camera before, like, even Steve and I at the moment, I'm a nighttime person and Steve's a middle of the day person. And when he comes to me in the middle of the day, I'm like, are you kidding? I've just breastfed. These boobies are not feeling sexy right now. I've got maximum 2 hours work to do before she needs to feed again in between her naps. This is a juggling act. Once the kids go to bed, then I'm all yours. He's like, I'm way too tired when it hits 7:30 at night. So scheduling works for us now.
Yeah.
But like you said, you brought up a good point too, that if you schedule and then someone cancels, you need to reschedule.
Otherwise, it's not a cancellation, because we were scheduling for a while and it was working really good.
Yeah.
But then when you cancel and then it cancels again because, it's too big, we got kids or something, all of a sudden brain goes, well, what's the point of scheduling?
Yeah.
What's the point of putting it in if it's not going to happen?
Yeah.
And so then it falls. But he solved that problem as well.
He did. And it doesn't mean that you can't still be spontaneous. Like, there's definitely times, even when, like I said, coming back from the weekend, I was like, woo, excited. But you don't want to neglect it, because otherwise I feel like you can easily, and we're talking about parenting here, you can easily fall into co-parenting or roommates where you're just like, or friends, and you're just going about life, doing the things, ticking the boxes, It's very easy to fall into that. So when you schedule it, it's that time that you get to reconnect. And it's the only thing you two have together that you don't have with anyone else.
It's really true.
Unless you're in an open relationship, no judgment there. Maybe that's a topic we can talk about one day, but not today.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the only thing that you guys have that no one else has. And that's really special and something that needs to be really nourished and looked after.
Put time into.
Put time into. It means they've
been
together
different seasons on when you go more and less and whatever. So it's not like, shit, we got a problem right now.
No.
But if you're
when the season's high, woo, you ride that. Oh
go
gosh, that's a bad.
That's a bit crisis. Can we cut that out?
As if. No. But yeah, that
also, I think the other thing to bring up on that is, like so many people even used to be resistant to scheduling your life.
I know.
But
Look at
once
me now.
you realize when you schedule stuff,
yeah,
it creates more flexibility,
so
and it also creates a calmness where you can be more spontaneous because you got your shit down. Like scheduling is the key to flexibility. This is my opinion. The key to feeling calm, the key to being spontaneous, because you're like, oh well, I can. Otherwise, you're like, I'm free, but I'm stressed as fuck, and I can't do anything.
To-do list. I think I'm remembering everything.
What have I got to do now? Shit, I missed that appointment. Oh fuck.
Yeah, I had a DM the other day saying like, how do you fit it all in? I was like, Time Tree, the app. Everything's color coordinated. Everything is structured in. I know exactly what I'm doing on each and every single day. I know where I have my free time to fit in the other stuff. Like, it's actually feels easy for me now.
Calming,
and
right?
I've got 2 kids now. Like, I feel so calm and balanced, which is so cool.
Like, this is a free time. I'm just gonna do this.
Yeah.
That's spontaneity.
It's really cool. I 100% agree. So that was my biggest takeaway, and I love that we can talk about it more, because I don't think sex is spoken about enough.
No. So we have to look some experts in that area.
Yeah,
as well.
Even you, like, ew, gross. It's not gross.
That was a bit creepy.
I don't think so. But you know what I mean? Like, it should be a more comfortable topic for people to talk about. It's a normal thing that is a pleasure and enjoyable part of life. It creates children. Like, why not talk about it?
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, yours.
My takeaway was on the what was the word? Conflict and role modeling conflict.
Yes.
So where he was saying that they purposely have low-level conflicts in front of the kids, then even more so having, like, because it helping them make sure that they're extra nice in those conflicts. But then if the resolution doesn't happen in front of the kids, to wait for that time. It's just such intentional, conscious parenting. And we haven't done this yet, but I so plan to do it, and I can't wait to. And immediately I went into this week with that nervousness that Neve never hears me yell. Like, am I going to have to start yelling so that the world doesn't crush her? And after this podcast with Dr. George, I just feel like, 1, that was ridiculous to me to think that I should do that. 2, she's going to be fine because she sees conflict modeling all the time. And now if we start to, like, even model our own, like Clara and my little stuff in front of them, oh my God,
Definitely.
it's so powerful.
That's such a cool takeaway. We haven't practiced it either yet, actually, until you brought it up again today. I was like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's definitely such a cool thing to do. Like to see how you talk to each other, the tone you use, how you like listen, not just interrupt. Like there's so many little things that you can go pretty wrong in conflict.
Yeah.
And it would make you be more conscious too, because you know you're setting an example. You can't just like unleash on your
100%.
partner. You'd be wanting to be the example.
So you'd probably do it better.
I think so.
Yeah. Which is cool. It's so, and even worse, like I think that's what I don't really have. My parents never were massive fighters before they broke up, but I think they were outside of the kids. And so you feel this tension, like two people don't like each other very much as a children, but you're like, I wonder why, because there's no.
Yeah, so it's pretty confusing.
It is confusing. Like, because when I was a teenager looking back, I'm like,
what's going on?
They never really fought, but I did feel like they never really liked being around each other much, And it was, so it's just a powerful way to go to unpacking that as well.
Definitely.
So to help kids go, okay, like this is normal. Conflict's normal, which it totally is. Two people are not the same. They've got their own opinions, their own needs.
Yeah.
We need to be able to communicate better.
Definitely.
Imagine starting to learn to communicate better young. I think I started communicating okay at about 35.
God, we're still learning.
Yeah.
No, we all are. No judgments here. But even like, and say with conflict, even showing physical touch and love in front of your kids, I think this is really important because I didn't see my parents ever do that. So, I'm a pretty touchy person now, but I think if they can see that from a young age, it's so beautiful. They can love and hug and embrace and like be intimate.
Yeah.
I think it's nice.
Having that space to just be able to express emotions and see emotions, right?
And even like when you have harder times and cry, like I used to feel guilt around crying in front of Taj. And I don't know who's maybe Katie Dean again. Gotta love that woman. She was like, it's so good for him to see you cry because if you are perfect all the time, imagine that pressure he's putting on himself that if he cries, will he be loved? Will he be accepted? Is it wrong to cry? But he sees you do it and come out the other side, or like how you breathe through it or whatever you do, it humanizes you and it makes him not feel crappy when he has those
shows
big emotions.
Them a way to when they're crying, they because we've done it. Neve's like straight away if someone's upset, she's like, just take a big breath, and she's like so naturally calming. And I remember crying a couple of times where she was confused. Even this is about 3.5.
Yeah.
And I had to explain happy tears to her.
And
it was such like her brain was like, because but then she got it and she's like, sometimes she goes to me, she goes, have you just got happy tears, Dad? And I'm like, I do have happy tears at the moment. It's so cute. Yeah. So they understand it
definitely
through seeing it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That's awesome. Have you had any realizations this week or learning just in your own parenting journey this week that you wanted to share? I've got one.
Okay, go for it. Yeah, you start.
Yeah, it just popped into my head then. My girlfriend Megan helped me through this. Megsy, you've probably all seen her on my social media. But Taj, I feel like the last couple of weeks has been having massive outbursts, really, really big emotions. And I feel like I can hold space for a certain amount of time, but it's normally like our last podcast, it's normally at the end of the day when I'm just like so stretched and I don't have much left. And he was yelling, screaming, pulling on his T-shirt, stamping his feet. Like it looked like he was so angry. And my heart, I just felt it was breaking a million pieces. Whereas Steve wasn't fazed by it. He's like, let him get it out. It's all good. And I was like, what is wrong? How is that not bothering you? But he's just like, this is normal. Let him have his emotions. And I was talking to Megan about it because I was like, I just feel like maybe he's seen me have panic attacks in the past. He's seen me anxious. Like, why is he pulling on his shirt? Like, can't he just breathe? Yeah. I just want him to breathe. I want him to be calm. And she's like, you want him to stop because it's too much for you. I was like,
ooh, good one.
Yeah. She's like, it's not too much for him. This is really healthy, especially for a little boy to let out his anger. And, I learned from the holistic psychologist. I interviewed her in my last podcast. And she said, there's this whole movement around meditation and breathing. And of course, it's great and serves a lot of people. But she's like, for me, I need to run. I need to get my energy out, run, jump in the ocean, like cold therapy. Like I've got this release. Yeah, move through it. So Megan said for Taj, if he needs to scream, like maybe next time you can get a pillow and he can scream into a pillow so your neighbors don't think that you're murdering him.
Yeah.
Because that's why I was like, oh my gosh, it's so loud. She's like, there's healthy ways for him to release that anger and don't shut him down because then he'll suppress it.
If he was Shafali conversation we had, right? She's like,
but if he was wetting the bed or he was stopped talking to you, his appetite gets changed, he's suppressing. Like he is safe in front of you to express that. And if it's too much for you and you're like trying to shush it down,
That's
it's just
the chat we had earlier with Justin. It was like after 3 months or 3 weeks of that baby not being, soothed, it soon stopped crying.
Yeah.
But what
did it learn?
what did it learn? And that's inbuilt at that young age, right? So, and you can always release it, but it'd be nice not to.
I know.
Build these. Yeah.
So that was a cool thing for me to learn. I've heard that before, but in the moment of him having these huge emotions, which I don't want to say he's like not been an emotional toddler. They all have been, but he's been a pretty chill nature, I suppose. Yep. But the last couple of weeks, maybe just a change of house, Tyler coming along, growing into his own person. He's really like learning. I'm Taj now, not with mum. It's been harder and challenging, but I need to learn to more be okay with that and sit in that and just hold him through it, not try and change it or fix it.
Yeah, and that safety around it. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So that was mine.
I actually don't think I've got anything I can make up.
That's like right. Nothing there. Week.
Yeah, well, other than feeling more calm after the last couple of podcasts around those key areas.
Yeah. It doesn't always have to be something wrong, but if there's been something that we've learned, we'd love to share it with you guys. But any parents listening or anyone listening, if you've had a great week, like celebrate it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool.
Well, no lessons on it.
Yeah. But you're, a week or two away from having baby number 2, which is pretty exciting. How you feeling about
by the time this podcast's live.
Oh, true.
We'll probably have. Yes. So feeling super confident, super calm, got the pool in, got to, pump up the pool. We're setting out the place. We've been, just ticking off the little boxes. It's getting up to that timeline where, like 4 weeks out, your brain goes, you need to have this done. And it can create a little bit of tension. But then it's close enough now for us to go, well, we better get the room ready, better do this. So feeling excited, feeling just
don't know the gender too,
super ready to, and everyone seems to have a feeling or an opinion, but I've got no feeling as yet.
I don't feel for you guys. I don't feel as in feel a gender. I normally do, but I can see you having another little girl, but it's just because you've got Neve.
Yeah,
I'd love you to experience a boy because I've had a boy and boy's cool, but either way, like, you just love them. Like, whatever's meant to be is meant to be.
Yeah.
2 of the same sex is cool. Like, I always wish I had a sister.
Okay.
I've only had brothers.
Oh, yeah.
So 2 of the same sex is really cool, but then one of each is cool to experience. So either way, you win.
Either way. Yeah. I just, the only thing you're nervous about is hoping for a safe journey into the world and that Clara doesn't go through too much pain. We're got our hypnobirthing down and practicing, so
so
cool.
exciting. So cool. Well, this is a bit of a shorter episode, but just a nice little recap.
And obviously I think that topic's huge around mum guilt, and also if you're a mum listening, watching to this, and you're like, well, shit, I haven't had, like, sometimes you talk, I'm going to start this up again, but I've spoken to women where I haven't spent a day away from my child, and the child might be 7.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, that's like, give yourself a break. So if you're listening to this and you've been guilting yourself, I mean, if you don't need it, don't take it. But I feel like all of us need a break at some point in life.
I actually got a DM last night. I can't even remember her name. I get hundreds of DMs a day, but she put up an interesting conversation with me, and she was saying, I love that you've been able to have time away from your kids. And her kid was 8, and she said, I can't be away from my child because the baby was born at 19 weeks and nearly lost her baby. So she's like, the thought of being away from my child is just, it's too, like, it gets so, if you guys can hear screaming in the background, we're in a big warehouse and there's
a basketball game and going on.
Yeah, so sorry if you can hear all that. But yeah.
That's parenting, right?
Yeah. She said that she can't be away from her kid because she is too anxious and doesn't, and my heart just broke. And I said, I'd be exactly the same as you, I reckon. There's no judgment here. Like, if you need to do that right now, but I said it will be really beautiful and interesting one day when you are ready to unpack that and work through that.
Yeah, that's a really nice response.
Yeah. So, good conversations.
Great chat. And we will be back with, well, actually the week after will be the hypnobirthing, I think.
Yes.
So it's a really, really cool conversation. If you've never heard of it, then you've got to hear about it. And if you haven't done it, then it's just a great option.
And you can also relate hypnobirthing to other things in life as well. So even if you're not about to have a baby or you don't have kids yet, you'll still find it super interesting.
Yep.
And she's just so passionate about her topic. Like, I love talking to her.
Knows it back to front. It was
really
such a good combo. Even for someone who's done it and a full believer took so much away from it. And
Yeah.
so it was awesome. So.
Definitely. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. As always, please, we really appreciate you guys sharing this with your friends and family if it's helped you in any way, any of our podcasts.
Yep. Make sure you follow so that you get to know. That helps us as well, get the message out.
Definitely.
And anything else you can think of that gets the message out. I can't think of anything. What else could you do?
Yeah, just sharing and recommending. Really
Create
does
your
help.
own T-shirts.
We're going to be selling merch next week with our faces on it. No, no, I really do. This is a passion project for us, but we want the messages and, you know, all the wisdom that our incredible guests are sharing and us.
Occasionally, maybe.
Yeah, the more it gets out to people, the better. So thanks for joining us, and we'll chat to you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.